Ever wonder what it really takes to build a meaningful life? Well, today we're going to dive into 4 foundational pillars of wisdom. These are ideas that can help guide us through just about anything life throws our way, from our relationships to our own inner strength. So, let's get right into it.
That's such a beautiful way to put it, isn't it? Our desires, they're like butterflies. They're fleeting, they're beautiful, but they don't stick around for long. So the real wisdom here isn't about chasing every single one of them. It's about learning how to tend to that garden of the heart where they show up in the first place. So where do we start building that foundation? Well, our first pillar is all about patience and faith. And this isn't about just gritting your teeth and getting through it. It's about a kind of quiet, deep, unshakable strength that we have to build from the inside out. I just find this definition of sabr, or patience, so incredibly insightful. See, it's not just about passively waiting around for something to happen. It's an active thing with 2 parts. First, it's having the strength to endure the things that are hard. And second, it's having the faith to wait for the good things you want. It's this powerful mix of endurance and real hopeful expectation. And this right here, this is the promise that comes along with that patience and faith. It's a powerful reminder that even when things feel impossible, hope is never really lost. When you have this foundation, believing in miracles isn't just some fantasy, it becomes a true source of strength. Okay, so once we start building that inner foundation of patience and faith, a new question comes up. How does that change the way we actually see ourselves? And that leads us perfectly into our second pillar. And here we are. Pillar 2 is all about learning to value yourself. This means really, truly recognizing your own worth, no matter what anyone else thinks or says. It's like the bridge that connects that inner strength to a real outer confidence. This comparison just illustrates it perfectly. On the left, you've got a wilted flower. It hasn't been cared for, and nobody wants it. But look at the right, a person who is thriving, who is taking care of themselves. They're valued by the world. The metaphor is so simple, but it's also so profound. When you neglect yourself, you repel opportunities. When you care for yourself, you attract them. This is such a crucial takeaway, really a game changer. We often think that we have to demand respect from other people. But this piece of wisdom says it's really an inside-out job. The value you put on yourself sets the standard for everyone else. When you genuinely believe in your own worth, you're basically teaching the world how to see you too. Okay, so we've looked inward at faith and self-worth. Now, let's turn our focus outward to pillar 3, the reality of relationships. How does all this wisdom help us navigate our connections with other people? Now, this is a fascinating point about loyalty. The wisdom here suggests that loyalty has nothing to do with whether someone is a man or a woman. It's a core part of their character, something that's shaped by their very nature and how they were raised. So if you're looking for loyalty in someone, the advice is to look at who they are at their core, not at any external labels. And that idea of looking at someone's core character, well, it becomes absolutely critical right here. This isn't trying to be overly dramatic. It's just highlighting how important this one choice is. Your life partner can bring you so much happiness or so much sadness. It's truly one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. And here's a little word of caution for all our relationships. Good people, the ones with strong character and self-worth, if you mistreat them, they aren't going to break down. They'll just quietly slip away. They'll remove themselves from your life to protect their own peace. It's a really powerful lesson about not taking good people for granted.
All right, for our final pillar, we're going to zoom out a bit and look at some wisdom for the world. Think of these as practical, everyday rules for getting through life with a bit more intelligence and grace. I gotta say, I love this piece of advice. It's so clever and a little bit funny. It gives you clear, practical instructions for staying safe around animals. But then it hits you with the most important lesson of all. Some dangers, like an ignorant person, are just best avoided completely. There's just no safe angle when you're dealing with a closed mind.
And here's another brilliant illustration of just how powerful our words are. Jaggery is basically sugar. It should be the easiest thing in the world to sell. And chilies, well, they're spicy, not for everyone. But the point is, with a sweet, kind way of speaking, you can sell even the difficult stuff. But with a bitter attitude, you couldn't give away the sweetest thing. Our words matter a lot. This is a really humbling piece of wisdom, but it's so important. The things we often count on the most, our health, our money, they can be gone in an instant. This isn't meant to make you pessimistic. It's just a reminder to be humble and to focus on the things that actually last.
like your character and your kindness. So, as we bring all these pillars of wisdom together, there's one last really personal idea to think about. And it's this: every single one of us walks through the world with not one, but three different faces. So let's break that down. First, there's the public face, right? The one we show to the world. Then there's the face we show to our family and our closest friends, a little more relaxed. But then there's the third face, the one that no one else ever gets to see. This, they say, is your true self, where you keep all your private thoughts, hopes, and fears.
And so that brings us to the final question, and this one's just for you. As you think about those three faces in your own life, which one feels the most real? And maybe even more important, what would it take to let that true face see a little more daylight? That's definitely some food for thought. Thanks for joining me for this one.